Hello to everybody. So I am Chandrasekhar, Faculty of Zoology. After completion of the organism and population, now we are going to discuss some of the questions which are related with the ecosystem. It is the second part of the ecology and environment, and of course it is also one of the specific and one of the fascinating subject or topic of the ecology and environments, because of every organism in the nature, how they are getting the food particles and how they are dependent on each other for sake of getting the food particles in the nature, and that will become providing the energy to all the living organisms of the environments itself. So for sake of that, I am saying that it is one of the quite interesting topic of ecology and environment itself. Now you go for some of the questions what they are asking. Like the first one is the food chains differ from food web. In that, how the food chains are different from food web. What do you mean of food chains? So that means all the living organisms of the ecosystem can be depends on their food particles. And naturally, when they want to get the food particles, they have to rely on another living organism itself. So, on the basis of dependency, and the food chains are simply formed by a series of the living organism. Once you arrange them in a systematic manner, and just simply will get a linear fashioned food chain itself. Now, the first option is like that. Of course, food chains are simple sequencing who eats whom in a community itself. So naturally, whatever the different living organisms are associated with each other to form the food chain, and whatever the food particles are so far available among the living organism, one is depends on another in a series manner. For example, the producers are the only organism which are not dependent on another living organism. From the consumers, for example, consumers are treated primary, secondary, tertiary consumers. The primary consumers are depends on the different parts of the producers. The secondary consumers are depends on primary, and the tertiary consumers are simply depends on the secondary consumers itself. The death of the producers and the consumers are the food source to the decomposers itself. So in that way, the food chains are not so simple, but some of the food chains in the nature are looks like a simple sequence of the food chain itself. Now second one is the food webs are depending simple interaction among the food chains. What do you mean of food webs? The food webs are nothing but they are connecting the food chains of the nature by some of the living organism. So naturally, whatever the living organism can able to depends on or feeds on the two different organisms, like the products of the plants and the flesh of the animals, and those organisms are simply called as the omnivores itself. The omnivores are naturally connecting the two different tropical levels of the ecosystem. That's why the second option is food webs represent simple interaction among the food chain. It is not so correct. But whereas we go for the third one, food webs represent the complex interaction among the food chains. So naturally, the food chains which are present in the nature in the form of omnivorous organism, they simultaneously placed in a two of the tropical level. That's why the food webs are repeating the complex interaction among the food chains itself. And after that, the fourth one is the food chains is the flow of energy in a population. Of course, it is not directly involved in the flow of energy, but it is the source of energy to all the living organisms of the nature. Not only that, in population means number of individuals of the single species, but they are not supposed to make they are not supposed to supply energy to the individuals of the same species itself. And among the four, they are included to form the four of the options like A, B, C, and T. And of course, A is included 1 and 3, B is included 1 and 4, and C is included 1, 2, 3, and D is included 1, 2, 3, 4. Among the 4 of the options, A option and 1 and 3 are a difference, which are these two of the things these two of the explanations are very correct, and they are exhibiting the difference in between. They are explaining the main differences in between food chains to the food web. That's why I am opting the first option for this question. Okay. Now this is the 1 and 3. What is the one? Food chains are the single sequence who eats whom in a community, and third one is the food webs are representing the complex interaction among the food chains. And next we are going to discuss the second question is the mass of living matter at a tropical level in a area at any time is called. So the presence of the living material can be present in each of the tropical level of ecosystem or in an area at any time is called the standing crop itself. And now options are, the first option is called standing crop, and B option is the dead treatise. What do you mean of dead treatise? The decayed organic matter of food, dead organisms of the plants and animals is simply converted into detritus. The detritus food particles the source of energy to the decomposers itself. And after that, humus. C option is the humus means a kind of chemical substance can be present in the soil. That will be called as a humus. And after that, standing state means it is also defined like that. Just the presence of the mass of living matter at a tropical level in a given particular time can be named as a standing state itself. Among the 4 of the option, the first option is correct for this question. Mass of living matter at a tropical level in the area at any time is called standing crop. So that's why I am opting the A for this second question itself. And after that, I am going to be explaining the third question, that is called the primary substitution, refers to the development of community on A. So already we little know about the primary substitution and the secondary substitution and pioneer species also. Particularly, primary substitution means in some of the areas where the previously existed living organisms are not present, and in which areas the first or the existed organisms are first developed in that areas can be named as the primary substitution itself. On the basis of that, now you go to read out the 4 of the options. Which of the option is related to explain about the primary substitution and where they can be developed the community itself. The first option is like that: forest clearing after devastating for fire itself. By the effect of fire and the previously existed forest can be demolished or destroyed, and in place of that, and again the living organisms are supposed to develop. But it is not a complete definition or correct definition for the primary substitution itself. So that's why the first option or A option is not related to this. B option is like that: newly exposed habitat with no record of the earlier vegetation. What is saying? In which areas are newly exposed habitats, in which habitat there is no existence of previous there is no existence of vegetation is previously. So that's why the second option is a correct option to explain the primary substitution itself. And C option, freshly cleared crop field itself. After maturation of the plant, certainly within no time they are ready to give the crop field itself. While the farmers like human beings are cutting the crop, and that is a freshly cleared crop field is not to become a development of primary substitution. That's why the C option is also not related with it. And fourth option or D option, pond and freshly filled with water after a dry phase itself. The fourth option also not related with this question. Only the second option, that is called newly exposed habitat with no record of vegetation itself. The best example is a bare rock, a newly formed pond, and of course newly erupted volcano. These are the three of the example. They are the source of development of primary succession or the first existed vegetation itself. So in that way, I am also agree with the second option. So that's why the B option is the correct option for third question itself. And now I am going to be explaining the fourth question, that is called osmotrophs. Osmotrophs are nothing but they are also named by the decomposers itself. That means osmotrophs means particularly the earthworm or the bacteria and fungi-like organisms are naturally feeds on the resources of the detritus food particles. Already we know that detritus is nothing but it is just the source of the food particles to the decomposers or osmotrophs, and the decayed organic substance can be present, and they are decomposing the decayed organic substance of the dead plants and dead organism is simply called as the detritus. So the detritus is the main source for the food particles for the decomposers itself. And after that, now we go for some of the options are like that. A option, herbivores. Herbivores, you know that the living organism which feeds on the different products of the producers can be named as herbivores. And B option is the producers. The producers are nothing but they trap the photon energy of the sun and converted into their chemical energy or their energy. By converting the photon into the chemical energy with the help of photosynthesis, they can ecologically they are simply called as the producers itself. And after that, just now what I discussed, the decomposers and D is the carnivores. What do you mean of carnivores? The carnivores are nothing but a kind of consumers. Mostly the carnivores are depend on the food particles of the producers itself. Of course, the carnivores are simply classified into two types also, primary carnivores and secondary carnivores. So in that way, herbivores not related to the osmotrophs, producers and carnivores are also not related to the osmotrophs. Only the C option that is included the decomposers. The decomposers are the other name to the osmotrophs. This is the fourth C option, the correct option for this question. So I too opt in the C option for this question, sir. Now after that we go for the other questions of the ecosystem. According to Robert Constantia, 50% of the total cost for ecosystem service goes to. It means that Robert Constantia is the American scientist and who tried to put a tag price on just here Robert Constantia is the American scientist who tried to put a tag price on the natural resources of the environments or natural resources of the ecosystem itself. Robert Constantia and along with his own colleagues, research colleagues or research scholars, and they are first of all they thought and they estimated that whatever the cost is invested by the different countries of the world, and the total cost is distributed for sake of maintaining for some of the aspects of the ecosystem itself. Like that, here now the 50% of the total cost is invested on one of the aspect of the ecosystem. The question is asking that which of the aspect of the ecosystem is invested 50% of the total cost. Now we go for the options are like this. Recreation for maintenance of recreation only 6%, or climatical regulation also less than or little more than the 60% of the total cost can be invested. And after that, nutrient cycling of the ecosystem can be maintained by investing the 10% of the total cost. And after that, only the B option is like that. 50% of the total cost is always helpful to maintain the soil. 50% 50% of the total cost is for sake of maintaining the soil formation itself. That's why in this question the fourth B option is the correct option for this. Recreation, nutrient cycling and climatical regulation of the ecosystem is only investing 10% or 6% of the total cost, but only the soil formation of the ecosystem is always investing more, that is equivalent to more than 50% of the total cost is helpful to maintain the soil formation. So that's why the soil formation is included under B option. So that I'm opting the B option for this question. Now we go for the other question. Which of the following deals with the interrelationship between individual of the species itself? Already we know that the branch of the biology which is always explains about the study of interrelationship in between living organisms to their physical factors or else with their environmental condition can be named as the ecology itself. Basically, the ecology is simply classified into two types, ecology and synecology itself. The ecology is the one of the branch of the ecology which is always explains about the interrelationship in between the individuals of a same kind or different or number of individuals of a same species, and how they are interacted with their environments can be named as the ecology. This is the first option is the ecology, and B option is the synecology. Synecology is also named as the community ecology. That is the C option is also related with this. Synecology is nothing but it is also second branch of the ecology which is explains about the different organisms of different species, and they are living together to form the community, and whatever the branch of the ecology is explains about the community and different species, how they are interacted with their environments is itself is called synecology, and C option is the community ecology itself, and D option is the biome ecology. Already you know that biome is nothing but it is defined as the large regional, of course, a part of the nature, and it is completely or it is comprises with the very important individuals or important living organism like fauna and flora itself. The biome ecology, it is also not concerned with this question, and only the first option, that is the A option, ecology, is only named as the correct option for this question. Just we go for that and read out once more the question. Which of the following deals with the interrelationship in between the individuals of species or its population and its environment is simply defined as the ecology. That is comes under A option. So I am opting the A option is the correct. And now we go for the other question. Next question is which is the reason for highest biomass? Which is the reason for highest biomass in aquatic ecosystem itself? The options are like that: nanoplankton and blue-green and green algae is also present in some of the aquatic ecosystems, and B option is the seagrass and slime molds. Slime molds are naturally, and as well as seagrass are also present in the aquatic ecosystem. A and B options are not so correct for sake of having the highest biomass in the aquatic ecosystem itself. And after that, C is the benthic and brown algae itself. The benthic organism means more number of the benthic living organisms are confined to the bottom levels of the aquatic ecosystem. That is the main source of the biomass. That's why due to the presence of highest biomass in aquatic ecosystem, due to the presence of the benthic and brown algae itself. That's why the C option is selectively selecting for this question itself. And the D option is the diatoms also. Diatoms are also not, of course, one of the cause, but it is not the main cause to improve or else to deciding the or increasing the highest biomass in the aquatic ecosystem itself. Among the four of the option, the C option is the correct for this. Benthic and brown algae, the main source to increase the highest biomass in aquatic ecosystem itself. So that's why C option is the correct. Now I am going to be discuss another question, that is the vertical distribution of species. The vertical distribution of the species occupying different heights is. The first option is like that, A option is like that, stratification. B option is the population dispersal, and C option is the population fragmentation, and D option is the population mobilization itself. Now, stratification means the vertical distribution of the species while they are occupying the different heights of the environments at different tropical levels of the ecosystem can be named as the stratification itself. Now that's why among the four of the option, first option is correct. Now the B option is the population dispersed. That means the individuals of the species are naturally dispersed in different places of the ecosystem, that not going to be defined as the stratification. And C option is the population fragmentation. That means the population of any species is divided into small places in the ecosystem, or small segments in the ecosystem is called population fragmentation. It is not related to this distribution of the species itself. And D, the population mobilization. That means accumulation and gathering of the population in ecosystem is itself is called population mobilization, or little development of the individuals of the same species within the ecosystem is itself is called population mobilization itself. And B, C and D words are not related with the vertical distribution of the species while they occupy at different heights in the ecosystem. Only the A option is the correct option, that will be called as the stratification itself. Now, so after that, now we go for the other question. Which of the following shows detritus food chain? Of course, you already discussed in one of the question of the ecosystem. What is a detritus? The detritus is nothing but a kind of food source to the decomposers which is created or else which is made with the dead organisms of or dead bodies of the plants and animals, which naturally composed by decayed organic substance of the plant, dead plants and dead animals is simply converted to form the detritus itself. So that's why now we go for the four of the options. So here the first option is the fallen leaves, bacteria and bivalve molluscans. B option is the small fish, large fish and crocodile. And C option is the grass, grasshopper, frog. And D option is the none of this. Only among the four options, the A option is correct because of fallen leaves, particularly the fungi or its algae, and some of the leaves can be fallen into the soil and deposited for a while, and the deposited leaves are decayed to converted into the detritus itself, or the decayed algae leaves are decomposed by bacteria as well as just here to convert it into the detritus. The detritus food particles are a good source for the energy for the bacteria and bivalve molluscans also. That's why this is the one of the equation, or is one of the option which is better explained about the formation of the detritus food chain within the nature itself. And after that, the small fish naturally became a food source to the large fish, and in turn large fish became a food source to the crocodile, which is nothing but which is the best example for the glazing food chain. Orange is also grading food chain in the aquatic medium. It is only explaining that one of the organism became a food source to the another organism itself. There is no explaining there is no formation of any detritus food chain in the aquatic medium. and after that grass, grasshopper and frog also. Here the grass is naturally became a food source to the grasshopper, and the grasshopper became a food source to the frog itself. It is also one of the best example for the grazing food chain. And the third option is also not related with the a formation of the food or detritus food chain in the nature itself. And the fourth option is the D option is the none of these. Among four of the option, the A option is the correct one, and which is the only way to explain the detritus food chain within the nature. That's why opting the A option itself. Now you go for the another question. PAR. What do you mean of PAR? PAR. PAR stands for. And four of the options are given like that. The first option is the photosynthetically adaptive radiation. Adaptable radiation. It is also not related, not correct definition or not expansion. And photosynthetically accessible radiation. It is also not correct expansion of the PAR. And C option is the photosynthetic active radiation. And it is also not related. And photosynthetically active radiation. So this is the fourth option is the correct expansion of the PAR itself. Photosynthetic active radiation is helpful to the plants to absorb a little part of the photon that is called radiation energy of the sun, and simultaneously converted into the chemical energy in the form of this. Just converted into the chemical energy by the plants for the photosynthesis can be defined as a photosynthetically active radiation, which can be abbreviated in the form of PAR itself. That's why the B option is the correct option for this question. And after that we go for the next question is the peacock. Peacock eats a snake, and a snake eats a frog, and frog eats a insect, while insect eats plant. Then what is the position? Then the position of the peacock itself. You write them in a systematic manner. Of course, as usually the plant is the producer, and it is also the best example for the grazing food chain itself. Once we started to write in a systematic manner, plant is the food source to the insect. When the insect feeds on different parts of the plant, certainly it will become herbivore. And the herbivore is the main food source to a frog-like primary carnivore or secondary consumer. And snake feeds on the frog, then it is become a tertiary consumer or secondary carnivore. Certainly the snake will become a food source to the peacock. Now what is the position of the peacock now? The position of the peacock in the food pyramid of ecosystem is the climax carnivore or top carnivore itself. So now, for sake of explaining and for sake of knowing the position of the peacock, and four of the options are so far given. Primary producers, already we know that primary producers are nothing but plant, and secondary carnivore is nothing but frog. And C is the decomposer, there is no decomposer at all. And D is the top at the apex of the food pyramid itself. This is also known as the top carnivore or climax carnivore. That is the position of the peacock in the food pyramid of the ecosystem itself. Now that is concluded and included in the fourth option, that is called D. So that's why I am opting the D option is the correct option for this question. Now we go for the next question. In the phosphorus cycle. In the phosphorus cycle is one among the nutrient cycle of the ecosystem. In just weathering makes a phosphorus available first to. That means you know that the phosphorus is always present or existed in the nature in the form of rocks. The rocks are converted large size into the small size by a process is called weathering. Weathering process is convert the large phosphorus rocks and convert into smallest phosphorus granules itself. And after that the granules are simply released into the soil, and the humidity of the soil can be absorbed and converted into the liquid nature of the phosphorus granules itself. After converting into the solution or so liquidate substance, certainly that is available to the producers in the ecosystem itself. And that's why which are just here in the phosphorus cycle, whether it makes phosphorus available first two. The options are like that. A, the decomposes, no. And B, the produces, and C, the consumers, and D, the none of this. Now naturally when the phosphorus granules are just absorbed into the or dissolved in the humidity of the or little water of the soil, that will be available to the producers itself. Once the phosphorus granules are absorbed into the producers, that will become a source to the consumers, and by the death of producers and consumers, that will be available to the decomposers itself. And after that, D is not concerned with any living organism. In this question, certainly the B option is the correct option because of the producers are first getting the phosphorus with the help of weathering process. So that's why I am opting the B option for this question. And not only that, I am concluding today's class, and we will see another topic for tomorrow itself, that is called what is the biodiversity and the conservation itself. Thank you.